ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender.
أمتي قد لاح فجرا فارقب النصر المبين. دولة الإسلام قامت بدماء الصادقين. أمتي قد لاح فجرا فارقب النصر المبين. دولة الإسلام قامت بدماء الصادقين. دولة الإسلام قامت بجهاد المتقين. قدموا الأرواح حقا بثبات ويقين. دولة الإسلام قامت بجهاد المتقين. قدموا الأرواح حقا بثبات ويقين. ليقام الدين فيها شرع رب العالمين. أمتي فاستبشري لا تيأس النصر قريب. دولة الإسلام قامت وبدا العز المهيب. أمتي فاستبشري لا تيأس النصر قريب. دولة الإسلام قامت وبدا العز المهيب. أشرقت ترسم مجدا وانتهى عهد الغرور. برجال أوفياء لا يهابون الحروب. أشرقت ترسم مجدا وانتهى عهد الغرور. أمتي قد لاح فجرا فارقب النصر المبين. دولة الإسلام قامت بدماء الصادقين. أمتي قد لاح فجرا فارقب النصر المبين. دولة الإسلام قامت بدماء الصادقين. دولة الإسلام قامت بجهاد المتقين. قدموا الأرواح حقا بثبات ويقين. دولة الإسلام قامت بجهاد المتقين. قدموا الأرواح حقا بثبات ويقين. ليقام الدين فيها شرع رب العالمين. أمتي فاستبشري لا تيأس النصر قريب. دولة الإسلام قامت وبدا العز المهيب. أمتي فاستبشري لا تيأس النصر قريب.
This is their plan. I hate to tell them they're going to get defeated. The problem is these gangsters running all these elites of the world here are fueling this. If they wanted this stopped, they would. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is genocide, and this is their plan. They are going to use these barbaric men that they are watching by satellite, that they're watching by drone, and that they could have wiped off the face of the planet if they so choose. They could have already done it. The gig is up, guys. I'm telling you. The awakening's here. Open your eyes. You can see it. They're busted. They've trained Al-Qaeda, ISIS. This is a huge illusion. And if you've got the eyes to see it, you can see it. And if that's the case, that means that all of these powers are going to let these guys keep this power here. Do you understand me here? They're fueling this. They have created this beast, this monster. And it's meant for genocide in every state. And I'm telling you what, it's coming here. The time is any moment, any time. They're going to bring it here. But that tells me they got a big event coming up. And when that event hits, that's when it's all going to go up. They've done it in Syria. They're doing it here in Iraq. And they're going to continue to go as far as they want. The only people that are going to stop this ISIS, and you remember me saying this, is the people. You better get your knowledge. You better get your stuff quick. You better get your guns up. You better get ready. Because it's up to us to defend our lives. We're going to keep on pushing. You're looking at the Al-Qaeda leader here, of basically the leader of ISIS. And this is the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Now, this man should not even be the leader at this point. The only reason he is because they let him go. Imagine that, right? Arrested multiple times and released multiple times. So this is what's going on, and this is what I want to point out. The statements that this guy makes. You got to pay attention to what these guys are saying. His final words in 2009 to U.S. troops was, "I will see you guys in New York." He meant that, I feel. And I think it's part of a long, drawn-out plan for a final hit on New York. ISIS leader to the USA, and this is the newest warning that I want to share with you. Soon, we will be in direct confrontation. What have we done here? How could it get to this? It almost seems like it's done by design, doesn't it? It does to me. Now, when it comes to threats, you know, they can be hollow or there can be substance to them. You never really know until it happens. At this point, ISIS has made several threats toward the United States, many times saying they're going to bring their jihad to American soil. Now we have a new threat on this letter here stating that our soldiers will soon march here. Grand Central Station, June 20th, 2014. They're targeting New York with these threats. There's been another major city that's came out of their mouths. But New York came out several.
Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu, As I look to nature's beauty, dazzled am I, knowing everything calls on you, the Lord Most High.
الله الذي يهدينا جميعا، الله الذي نعتز به جميعا.
Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, Allahu, Allah. रहमतें निछावर करता है तू, बरकतों से दामन भरता है तू. Wer ist der Mächtigste und der Barmherzigste? Wer hört unsere Gebete und schickt uns die Hilfe? Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. সৃষ্টি করেছ সুন্দর পৃথিবী, মানুষ পশু পাখি সাগর নদী.
Beten du, oh Allah, te adorim. Beten prete yedim kerkoim.
Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Mon Seigneur, vous êtes le seul que j'adore. Je m'adresse à vous avec un cœur plein d'amour.
كي ذكرك أنني مجدرجككو مدلي رازاني أمرازتو.
Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. As I look to nature's beauty, dazzled am I, knowing everything calls on you, the Lord Most High.
الله الذي يهدينا جميعا، الله الذي نعتز به جميعا.
I've got urgent news. I was literally shaking when I read this. Fox accidentally leaks false flag ISIS attack in the U.S. Something went wrong. Yeah, something went very wrong. I want you to read this at the very top here. FoxNews.com, World, 2014, 9/11. What have they been saying all day? Chuck Hagel, all of them. A 9/11 is imminent. U.S. under attack. ISIS militant forces retaliate. Fox Weekly. 9/11. National ISIS militants launches attack on the U.S. Moment of silence, because boom, we told you. I told you. Everybody's told you. The U.S. is ISIS. Intelligence, technology, and training. Because I don't know what to say to you anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just like, what the hell? Then there's this. Cautions ISIS beyond anything we've ever seen. I wonder why, because you all created it. Chuck Hagel goes full fear-mongerer. ISIS poses greater threat than 9/11. Prepare for everything. Could it be the U.S. will do it twice? This is urgent. Spread immediately. Guys, get this out, please. I would hate to see this happen. Expose it. I'm pissed. You should be too. Pay attention in the next couple of days and get this out immediately, please. A lot of people are saying it's a hoax. What this is, let me show you, is basically that this URL was posted. It was leaked. And then the content was removed, giving it the 404 error. Which means this registers that somebody posted something. And with the URL like such, U.S. under attack, ISIS militant forces retaliate. It's got to make you wonder. By the way, you see the Wayback Machine? This is all. Here you go. Wayback Machine, browse history. It shows up on that day, which means somebody posted about it at Fox News. Yes, I know you can change the URL, but it would not show up in the archive machine under a 404 error. It would show up as it never existed. You see what I'm saying? There is some more evidence to the fact that this actually could be a real leak.
One of the things I worried about 12 years ago and that I worry about today is that there will be another 9/11 attack, and that the next time it'll be with weapons far deadlier. And when we have a situation developing in Pakistan, for example, where there are nuclear weapons,
terrorism is not new to the world. The sophistication of terrorism and ideology that the general was talking about, married now with resources now, presents a whole new dynamic and a new paradigm of threats to this country. And we can't ask the question of ourselves as leaders who have responsibility for the security of this country, then, well, is it that big a deal? I mean, they're far away. We don't have that luxury. Every day, the intelligence community of this country and the leaders, regardless of who the administration is, deals with this every day, that we don't want to face that again, ever. 9/11 or any part of it. So we have to look at this, Jim, from the reality of what's out there, but also what could be out there and what could be coming. And is this a long-term threat? Sure, it's a long-term threat.
Isn't the calculation, though, that ISIL presents a 9/11 level threat to the United States?
Yeah. Jim, ISIL is as sophisticated and well-funded as any group that we have seen. They're beyond just a terrorist group. So we must prepare for everything. And the only way you do that is you take a cold, steely, hard look at it and get ready.
Well, the immediacy is in the number of Europeans and other nationalities who have come to the region to become part of that ideology, and those folks can go home at some point, which I think is actually more threatened in the near term than we are. And nevertheless, because of open borders and immigration issues, it's an immediate threat. Longer term, it's about ISIL's vision, that their long-term vision is the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham. And al-Sham includes Lebanon, the current state of Israel, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, and Kuwait. If they were to achieve that vision, it would fundamentally alter the face of the Middle East and create a security environment that would certainly threaten us in many ways.
General, do you believe that ISIS can be defeated or destroyed without addressing the cross-border threat from Syria? And is it possible to contain them?
It is possible to contain them. So you ask, yes, the answer is they can be contained, not in perpetuity. This is an organization that has an apocalyptic end-of-days strategic vision, and which will eventually have to be defeated. To your question, can they be defeated without addressing that part of their organization which resides in Syria? The answer is no.
Former CIA and NSA Director Michael Hayden, now a church principal at the Chertoff Group. Very good to have you on. Michael, thank you for joining us. When it comes to ISIS, I think a principal concern for Americans is what is the direct threat to them. And it's my impression that there's a debate inside the intelligence community as to how imminent that threat is. But the FBI put out a report this week saying no credible threats yet. Where do you stand in that debate? Is it more imminent or less imminent? Is this a future threat or a clear and present danger?
Well, Jim, you've outlined it perfectly. This is a question of timing, not of inevitability, not of intent. It's at a time and place that they're choosing, and it will come probably sooner rather than later.
So, to be clear, you're saying it's just a matter of time before ISIS attempts to attack or attacks the U.S. homeland?
I think so, and certainly the West in general.
For those of you that have not seen this warning put out, I want to share it with you. There's one of two things taking place here. This man is pushing what we normally see here as propaganda, or this man knows something. Now, 6, 7 out of 10 times when we see something like this, it is mostly propaganda. But these things were put out in the open before 9/11, yet people paid them no attention. And then 9/11 hit, and now when you go back and you look throughout history, you can see that the warning signs were there. What bothers me the most is knowing that this man has the intelligence, that he knows something is about to happen. And what bothers me the most is the fact that not only this man mentions we're coming up on 9/11 and that we need to go to DEFCON 1, the highest level possible, but the fact that this man mentions Flight 370 resurfacing. There is a false flag event of epic proportions underway.
Well, let me say this. On the 7th of September, a major news network and a major publishing network are going to put out a book, and it's going to be earth-shattering of what's happening and what happened. And the fact is, we may even see on 9/11/14 MH370 resurface again. We should be prepared for anything. We should go to DEFCON 1, which is our highest state of readiness, and be prepared as we lead up to 9/11.
When you say a major news organization is coming forward with a publication, what are you referring to specifically? Can you allude to that? Do you give us more details about what you're referring to?
I can't give you any more than what I've just said, but it is going to be extremely important, and America should take notice. We are less safe today than we were 6 years ago. General Mike Flynn, the director of DIA, who's retiring now, has pointed out that they have almost doubled the radical Islamic organizations in the last 6 years, and probably a 30% increase in the force structure.
So you're saying we should raise the terror level threat at this point ahead of the anniversary of 9/11?
Absolutely, Uma.
Well, that's very sobering, and obviously something we're going to obviously watch very carefully.
Ladies and gentlemen, something big is about to happen. It's not a question of if, but when. The only way you're going to know if something else is coming is if you catch the giveaways. And as far as I can tell, if we have a huge news network releasing information and a book on September 7th, just days before 9/11, and we have this man warning of a huge attack coming, we should raise our level to DEFCON 1, that the Muslims have just absolutely exploded in numbers, that they're here, and the cherry on top, Flight 370.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today is Tuesday, March 25th. It's about 2:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I was just listening to President Obama do a little speech at the Nuclear Security Summit in The Hague, the Netherlands. And, well, let me just let him tell you in his own words.
Mr. President, thank you. In China, in Syria, in Egypt, and now in Russia, we've seen you make strong statements, issue warnings that have been ignored. Are you concerned that America's influence in the world, your influence in the world, is on the decline? And in the light of recent developments, do you think Mitt Romney had a point when he said that Russia is America's biggest geopolitical foe? If not Russia, who?
So my response then continues to be what I believe today, which is Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. A nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. A nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. A nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan.
Oh, a nuclear weapon in Manhattan. Gives you something to think about, doesn't it?
One terrorist with one nuclear weapon could unleash massive destruction. AlQaeda has said it seeks a bomb and that it would have no problem with using it. One nuclear weapon exploded in one city, be it New York or Moscow, Islamabad or Mumbai, Tokyo or Tel Aviv, Paris or Prague, could kill hundreds of thousands of people. And no matter where it happens, there is no end to what the consequences might be.
I want to share with you guys here an interesting read pertaining to the rise of ISIS being foretold by an exiled Iranian Freemason. And he predicted that these elites, the Illuminati, would piece together this Islamic faction that would provoke a world war. This is exactly what we are seeing today in the form of ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda. Now, his newest warning is stating that the next attack, the big attack on U.S. soil, will be a chemical or biological attack.
No son los soviéticos, señor. Me comunican que la fuente de energía está generada por el Doctor Manhattan.